Zoonotic Diseases Backpack Adventures. Katie opened the front door and dropped her backpack on the floor. She plopped onto the plush couch and let out a big sigh. Now that the COVID-10 pandemic seemed to be winding down, Katie was able to go to school in person again. She was happy to be back, but she forgot how tiring it could be. At least she wasn't lonely anymore. Now she got to see her friends more often and meow. Speaking of her friends, Katie was welcomed home by Miss Waddington, her cuddly new kitten. The little calico jumped into Katie's lap, purring and pacing. Katie got out her phone to take a picture. She found the perfect angle. Right when she went to shoot the picture, Miss Waddington turned around and started to scratch her neck. She had been very itchy lately. Katie reached down and scratched under the kitten's chin to help her out. Satisfied, Miss Waddington sat still and Katie took her picture. Instagram gold, thought Katie. Speaking of pictures, school portraits were only a few weeks away. Katie had never been a fan of the awkward photo shoots. She was even more nervous about them now because she had this big red spot on her cheek that wouldn't go away. Katie, Summer, and Jace were eating lunch at school the next day. It was so nice for the Backpack Adventure group to be back and better than ever. Katie finished her sandwich and began nervously messing with the spot on her cheek. No matter what she did, it just got bigger and redder. Could this be a pimple? It sure is itchy and big. Noticing her messing with it, Jace offered to pop it for her. Ew, no thanks, said Katie. There really wasn't anything to pop anyway, she thought. It's really itchy. Maybe you should get that looked at, suggested Summer. I'm done eating. I can go with you to the school nurse now if you'd like. Yeah, okay, let's go. I think you have ringworm, dear, claimed the school nurse, Miss Jane. I have worms? Cried Katie. I was just worried about an itchy pimple, and now I have worms? Oh no, it's not worms. It's actually a skin infection that is caused by a parasitic fungus. You need to go to your doctor to make sure, but for now, stop scratching it and make sure to wash your hands. How could she have gotten ringworm? Asked Summer, always eager for answers. She could have gotten it from a person or a pet who has ringworm. Does anyone come to mind? Oh no, Miss Waddington. Maybe my kitten. Her chin has been very itchy lately. That could be it, exclaimed the nurse. My puppy, Jenner, had parvovirus recently, said Summer. Could I get that from him? No, sweetie, not all diseases are zoonotic. What is zoonotic? Katie asked, now worried about her kitten, too. Is ringworm permanent? Is it going to spread? Zoonotic just means that a disease can be transmitted from animals to people or people to animals, explained Miss Jane. Miss Jane finished tending to Katie's ringworm rash and wrote her a note to take home to her parents. Katie and Summer left the nurse's office talking about ways they could hide the rash for picture day. When Katie got home after school, she was greeted as usual by Miss Waddington. She examined the kitten's chin. Sure enough, there was a round red rash, ringworm. The next day, Katie and her mom went to the doctor to confirm Miss Jane's suspicions. While they were in the waiting room waiting for their appointment, Katie perused the magazines. She would do anything to keep her mind off the upcoming school pictures and the itchy patch on her cheek. Katie put National Geographic down and picked up Time magazine. She flipped through the pages, trying to distract herself. This was an interesting issue. There was a list of Time's most influential people of 2020. She looked at everyone's photos and skimmed their achievements. She started reading about Jean-Jacques Mayombe-Thampham. Dr. Mayombe is among the exceptional men who advance science and truly make a difference, stated the article. She read on, but soon the secretary called her into the doctor's room. Dr. Vector examined KT's spot, which looked less like a pimple and more like a shiny red rash now. "Yes, that's definitely ringworm," the doctor said. "Oh no, how long will this fungus be on my face?" "Don't worry. This is a normal thing that can occur when living with pets. Zoonotic diseases are more common than you think," stated Dr. Vector, noting KT's distress. "An antifungal cream should clear that right up in a few weeks." Just in time for pictures. "Will KT get more diseases from her pet? Should we not have adopted this kitten?" asked KT's worried mom. "These things happen sometimes. Zoonotic diseases are actually everywhere. We can get them from pets, wild animals, bugs, and even our food. You have already heard of rabies, malaria, and salmonella?" KT's mom nodded in reply, looking at KT protectively. "These are all zoonotic diseases that people get from different ways. Even COVID-19 is considered to be zoonotic. But there are lots of protective measures in place to keep people safe from these diseases. So don't worry about the little furball here. Just make sure everyone stays up to date with their doctor," said Dr. Vector, with a comforting pat on KT's shoulder. KT and her mom went home for lunch. They digested their food while they also tried to digest all that they learned at the doctor's office. Afterwards, they took Miss Waddington to the vet for her own checkup. Dr. Variola confirmed that the kitten had ringworm as well. She wrote them a prescription for a similar antifungal cream. "Thank you," said KT's mom, relieved. "Are there any other diseases we need to be worried about contracting from her? This is our first pet, and we don't know what to expect." "No worries. Just keep Miss Waddington up to date on vaccinations and parasite prevention, and all will be well." "Parasites?" asked KT, thinking about creepy crawlies and cooties. "First a fungus on my face? Now what?" "Even ringworm is caused by a parasitic fungus. Animals are susceptible to many parasites such as fleas and ticks. These bugs feed off their blood and carry diseases that pass into the animal. Some of these bugs, or the diseases they have, can even carry over to the pet owners." KT and her mom exchanged a worried look. More diseases? They both already shared a disliking of bugs. Dr. Variola noticed their exchange. "It's okay. That's what I'm here for. Just keep Miss Waddington here up to date with her veterinary care, and the whole family will be safe and parasite-free." KT and Summer talked on FaceTime later that night. KT updated her on the ringworm shenanigans and started talking about her dislike of bugs. Not all bugs are bad. Remember how we learned about bees and how they help pollinate flowers? Bees aren't parasites. Plus, they are kind of cute, said Summer. "I guess you're right. All of these zoonotic diseases are kind of scary sounding, though," stated KT. "I don't understand why some diseases are passed between people and animals, but others aren't." KT then remembered reading about Dr. Mayombe. Time magazine stated that he was a famous microbiologist who studied infectious diseases. Maybe he could tell us more. "Hey, Summer, you like to learn. Maybe we could go and meet a scientist using our time-traveling backpack." Summer chewed on the idea. "Sounds fun, but maybe we shouldn't be traveling with COVID-19. She had a good point, but then KT had another idea. They don't need a transporting time-traveling backpack to meet the scientists. They could use a modern magic. Zoom. KT went to Summer's house for the video call. They were staring at a large computer monitor, talking about what they were going to wear on picture day when Dr. Mayombe joined the chat. "Hello from the Congo!" exclaimed Dr. Mayombe, who was dressed in a lab coat. He stood in front of a big lab hood. "Hello, sir. Thank you for meeting with us," says Summer. "We have so much we'd like to talk about with you. Like recently, I found out that I have ringworm and started hearing about all these zoonotic diseases, said KT. There are so many. How come my kitten and I aren't just sick all of the time? Yes, there are multiple emerging zoonotic diseases in the world today. Most of them are caused by bacteria and viruses. However, many of these diseases are under control in America due to protective measures like vaccines and good hygiene. You and your kitten don't have to worry too much. I'm sure that's because of scientists like you, said Summer. I read that you helped discover Ebola and created a treatment for it. She sure did her research before this meeting, thought Katie. Dr. Mayumbi seemed to blush. Yes, that was my biggest achievement. I am very proud of that. And I saw that you were listed as one of Time's most influential people, exclaimed Katie. I am honored to be acknowledged in Time, and am flattered that you two wanted to talk to me. My goal is to help inspire young scientists, especially those here in the Congo. This exchange started a lively discussion where the girls learned about the Ebola virus, other zoonoses, and how scientists work to cure and prevent diseases. They could have kept talking for hours, but Dr. Mayumbi had an important meeting to go to. Thanks again, said KT and Summer. They said their goodbyes and logged off. The more the girls learned about science, the more they wanted to know. Each answer they got led to more questions. They came to realize that their world was getting bigger and bigger. But thanks to scientists like Dr. Mayumbi, it was getting safer and safer.